Hey everyone, welcome to What Shaun Likes. I'm Shaun, and today we're doing this is not going to be spoiler free. This is huge amounts of spoilers for Wakanda Forever. So let's get into it. So, last warning, sorry, very last warning, because I know how people get crazy about this. Very last warning. I'm going to be spoiling Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Okay, let's go. The movie's awesome. It's great. First spoiler, it's amazing. It's so let me tell you, I did a video like a long time ago when my channel was very new and had a different name about Black Panther, the first Black Panther movie that actually came out with T'Challa as the Black Panther. Now, it was it was it was amazing. I remember that video. I was probably just ranting about like how powerful the movie was, being an black cast and everything. And with this movie, Wakanda Forever, Black Panther 2, it is by far, it is probably like the best like Marvel movie I've seen in a very long time. I would dare to say actually, the whole of Phase 4, this is the best movie. This was better than Spider-Man, definitely better than Doctor Strange. Definitely, like, it was better than everything. I mean, we had a couple of series that came out. Let's not talk about She-Hulk, because that sucked. But yeah, no, the Wakanda Forever like really doesn't hold back, and everything is done so tasteful. The death of King T'Challa really done so well. They address that. It's a theme that kind of seeps in, because the whole fact of the matter is, right, and I forgot about this, and I like how they address this, is really like, the last time we were in Wakanda, Killmonger had destroyed all those purple heart herbs, which give the Black Panther their power. And the crazy thing is that T'Challa dies, there aren't any more Black Panthers. Like, that's it. Like, everyone is kind of seeing that as like the end of the line for Black Panthers in its entirety. The world knows this. Everyone else knows this. So then I guess like one of the premises that kind of seep into the movie is like how the world threatens the world, like Wakanda feels very threatened by the rest of the world because everyone still wants vibranium. At the moment, Wakanda is the only place to get vibranium, and that's why, like, you see there's a couple of attempts to actually steal vibranium from Wakanda, which actually, this is what sets off the chain of events that bring Ku Klux Klan, or Namor. Let me use Namor. Damn, that name is hard. Ku Klux Klan. What? Kuku Khan. I think it's Kuku Khan. Anyway, Namor the Submariner into the fray, and the Empire of Atlantis, basically. So the world starts digging for vibranium in other parts of the world. Obviously not on land, because no one on land has it. So they go into the ocean, right? I guess the premise and the theory is that if a meteorite hit Wakanda by land, another meteorite might have hit the ocean, which is what we come to determination of. There's a part of the ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, where vibranium was actually sitting at the bottom of the seabed. And the Western world, so we're saying the US, is now drilling, and they seem to find it. The problem is they also, like the Atlanteans, find these people here digging for vibranium, and they kill them. They kill like a whole ship, like a whole rig, a whole ship of people. The Atlanteans kill them. Oh, very cool thing. Huge spoiler as well, but anyway, this whole thing's about spoilers. I like how the Atlanteans were drawing people off the ship, right? So if you don't know about mermaids or lore with mermaids and so on, and sirens, like, that was the premise. The premise was that like mermaids or sirens would sing songs, right, in the distance of the ocean, right? And men and pirates at sea, they would go mad, and they would actually jump into the ocean, trying to swim towards these beautiful women, and meantime, these mermaids or sirens would end up killing them. And that's exactly what happens here. It's like they have this song that they sing that's hypnotizing to the men on the ship, that just start jumping off board into the water, and then boom, they just get murdered in the water. They don't even know what's going on. So, nonetheless, okay. So the Atlanteans wipe out this whole ship. Everyone thinks it's the Wakandans because it's vibranium related, and no one knows that Atlantis exists. Namor, the submariner, approaches T'Challa's mother at the time, the Queen of Wakanda, and comes to her and says, "Listen, people have found out of a way to find vibranium. So there's this vibranium tracker, I guess, that people are able to kind of point it to a certain direction and be like, there's vibranium beneath here or something like that, right? Same way, like, I guess, how you do it for gold and diamonds and such. Now, Namor comes to her and says, find the scientist, bring the scientist to me, all right? And then, like, because your brother is the one who told the rest of the world that vibranium exists, right? So because of that, now they're searching in my kingdom, and no one even knows my kingdom exists. So the problem that your brother kind of started, deal with it. Anyway, I digress. This is how we're introduced to Riri Williams, who's actually the scientist who built the machine that could find vibranium. If you don't know about Riri Williams, also a pretty cool character. Riri Williams is Ironheart, who is the successor for Iron Man. In the comic books, what typically happened was that there was Civil War Part 2 happened, Civil War 2 happened, Iron Man and Captain America, was it Civil War 2? Yes. Iron Man and Captain Marvel actually went fighting against each other. And then with the whole Ulysses debacle, but sorry, I'm digressing again. And Iron Man gets put into a coma, which he kind of leaves an AI for Riri Williams to kind of carry on and build her own armor. And he's kind of defined her as like a genius and whatever, and so on. So he teaches her. The Iron Man influence is not there, so I think it's going to come out later. I think it's going to come out later with Riri Williams getting influenced by Tony Stark Iron Man at some point in time. At the moment, it's not. She's just like this smart kid who Wakanda takes into their protection to protect her from Namor. One thing I had an issue with, the suits. I did not like the suits. Maybe I'm getting out of the way here, but the first Black Panther, like, or even like suits, like generally in the beginning, they felt more real. They felt like yeah, this was good. Now I feel like we're just CGIing everything, and it's sort of like I don't feel like Riri's suit was actually pretty cool, or maybe it wasn't meant to look like good and realistic because she's not as experienced yet, I guess, because of Tony Stark and so on. But again, I digress. Anyway, let's get back into Wakanda Forever. So now we understand the whole plot points of how even war kind of gets enacted because they don't want to give Riri to Namor. Namor's like, I'm coming off the Wakanda, and so on and so forth. Now, here's the cool part, right? Shuri takes over the mantle of Black Panther. I think we all could have guessed from the trailer. Now, how does she do that if, how does she take over the mantle of Black Panther if there aren't any purple heart herbs anyway? Well, she finds she starts like dissecting like DNA, and because she actually goes to Atlantis at some point, she grabs an artifact from Atlantis. She's able to kind of like crossbreed her brother's DNA with some of the vibranium and so on. That's there in Atlantis, and synthetically she creates a new heart-shaped herb. She takes on the heart-shaped herb, and we all know what happens next, right? We all know what happens next. You go and you see your ancestors before you come back as the Black Panther. For T'Chaka, he did that. He saw his fathers and his forefathers. So T'Challa did that. He saw his father T'Chaka and previous Black Panthers. Killmonger did that. He saw his father, I think. Yeah, he saw his father. And anyway, so you're calling onto an ancestor when you're doing this. So Shuri does this. They know they know T'Challa, they know T'Chaka, there ain't nobody there. It's actually Killmonger. Killmonger's there because that's actually who her heart is pulling onto, I guess. Her spirit is kind of pulling onto. And Killmonger, which I was like, this is the best cameo ever. But Killmonger is actually there. And he's like, listen, like, you want to go to war with Namor, you can't be like your mom. You know, you can't be noble like your brother. You gotta be like me. And I got stuff done. And he did. Like, take what you want, right? Killmonger got stuff done. All right, he didn't leave any like bystanders or witnesses. The guy ascended into the throne like a boss. All right, he even made like the other people, which is the thing. He made the other elders believe like I should be the one. Actually, I'm challenging this guy, and I should be the one to be king. Booyah, boom, like bombastic, done, dusted, and it's allowed because of traditions and laws. Anyway, so Shuri has this huge conflict. I'll kind of like her internal conflict. I'll leave that for whoever wants to watch the movie. I think at the end of the day, the movie is great, right? One thing I liked, they didn't kill Namor. So at the end of the day, like they kind of come to like Shuri kind of like beats down Namor enough to be like, listen, let's just be allies. You know, let's like Wakanda will keep your secret. We'll even protect the seas. Just let's be allies. You know, and then he's like, fine. But obviously, Namor's thinking this is a leader of a nation, my friends. He knows like at some point in time, like that's going. At some point in time, like the world's gonna be against Wakanda, and he'll be able to do what he wants, which is actually like wipe out the surface world. Now, a cool thing, and I'm gonna speak about two more things. Sorry, the last thing is actually Namor. I like the whole Mesoamerican Inca and Aztec pull to it, because the Spanish conquistadors, when they came to South America, they wiped out people. So you have this sea of people kind of that are running away from the land. They do something to their bodies so they can start breathing underwater, and they create this water civilization because the surface world was so dangerous because of the Spanish inquisitors that came. Conquisitors, sorry, not inquisitors. This is not Star Wars. Conquisitors, and what happens is like Namor then comes back, but like he's special, and I think he's special because his mother was pregnant when she made the transition to be an Atlantean. So he was half human, half Atlantean. So he has a bit of some abilities there. How it happens in the comic books is like literally he's half Atlantean, half human, and that's what contributes to him having like aging slower, stronger, being able to fly. He has the wings on his feet. His skin looks different. All the other Atlanteans are blue. He still has like skin like me, I guess. And now I think what was very cool, actually the way he moves in the air with those wings on his feet, so well done. Like I had to imagine like how would a person move if they had wings on their feet. That's exactly how they'd move. It's like he's stepping on air. It's really cool. Anyway. So, and then the last thing I want to speak about has to do with colonization. If you don't live in a continent or nation or country that's ever been colonized, you wouldn't understand the effects of colonization fully. Ideally, if you do live in a nation that wasn't colonized, and you were not part of the minority that got colonized, you were probably coming from the nation that was colonizing most of the time. And that means no disrespect, but truthfully, I love how Black Panther movies really address colonization and how it's pushed these societies to either isolate themselves, protect what they have, you know, and they even have a lot of the times they have great enough power to wipe out the world, and they decide not to, purely just because of well, number one, you want to be decent. You want to be a decent batch of people. Like you want to be decent human beings. You don't want to go wipe out the world. But at the same time, it's just like there are these two effects, and I agree. And this is what made Killmonger so relatable, and probably what makes Namor so relatable, is that the fact of the matter is Killmonger saw black people across Africa who have been exploited for years. When we're talking about natural resources, Africa gets exploited like crazy, guys. We're talking like raw materials. Like, you know, like colonization has been so bad on Africa that there are many countries that stay, like wars are perpetuated. They're literally perpetuated and they're kept in flux. Like at the time I'm making this movie, Russia has invaded Ukraine, and there's this war that's going on. Africa has been at war with itself. Like tribes, like when colonizers came to the country, tribes, they had put tribes up against tribes, right? And you have this internal tribal war that's going on. Why is that good for business? Because now you can get a massive amount of coal, diamonds, oil out of a country without paying any tax or any type of legalization. You do it illegally, you can get way more for your buck, more bang for your buck, I guess. The same was like, and when colonization came to South America, they were looking for gold, and it's always like so, sorry, it's just great to tell that story and tell it in a Marvel superhero like I don't know, like environment, because I got tired of, and I mean, this is a Spider-Man fan speaking. I got tired of hearing about the kid from Brooklyn whose uncle died and just wanted to do better, and that's cool. We're talking about people who have literally rose up across their whole nation to pivot their nation to a point where we will not be subjected to colonization anymore of any type of form. We will rule, and if anyone gets in our way, we will rule you the same way you ruled us, because we're tired of taking this crap. So it's like, so that's why you could sympathize, I could sympathize, anyone else, right? Or anyone else who understands what I'm saying could sympathize with Killmonger and with Namor. But then you also have to understand the wisdom that came with T'Challa, with Shuri, and the nation of Wakanda, is that you can't fight, which is kind of how you end the movie. Really, is like you can't fight hate with hate. Like revenge is gonna just kill us, dude. So it's a two-headed, like you said, it's a two-headed snake that that is poisoning itself. Literally, it's a two-headed snake. What? No, it's a snake like that poisons itself. It's like biting your tail, but like you're poisoning someone, but you're poisoning yourself as well. I forgot the analogy. Jeez, this is baffling. Anyway, so fact of the matter is, I just love how Black Panther movies do that. Wakanda Forever, top-notch movie. I would go and watch it again. And yeah, listen, this video has been long, but if you like this video, please like and subscribe, and yeah, I'll catch you all later. Cheers.